We did this all wrong.
Oh no. Why? What do they have?
Hot cocktails.
Oh yeah. Could have gotten hot toddy or something.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cocoa, steamed milk, and whipped cream. So it's a peppermint
Hot chocolate?
but it's
That's what I like.
a boozy peppermint hot chocolate.
We did do this all wrong.
No,
This is good too, though.
I told you.
So today, what we've done is wake up super early, drive to Sausalito
About an hour and a half away.
before all the traffic,
About an hour with no traffic.
and we met up with the boat broker, the other guy that works at the brokerage place.
It's like the yard guy gets all the projects arranged
Yep,
on the boat.
I like him a lot.
for boats.
We met with the surveyor and a gentleman who's going to be skippering the boat for us today, and Scott's dad joined us. We took a look at the boat before we went anywhere, gave it like a basic overview of the boat. Then we sailed it over to the nearest haul-out yard, which was, I think, KKMI? So took it over there, hauled the boat out, which was super cool. I'll share some footage of that. And then they power washed the bottom of the boat, and the inspector, the surveyor, went around and tapped on every part of the hull, telling us what he was listening for. Sounded the hull. He looked at our engine, he looked at the rigging, he took a look at the sails, took a look at the bilge. Seemed like
a lot of wind today,
like a
so
good,
we
like,
couldn't do a test sail.
Seemed like a good overview. I think I personally anticipated it to be a little bit more meticulous, where like he would be looking at every screw on every piece of rigging and like seeing, I don't know, how loose, tight, rust, or anything. But I think he just did an overview, but on everything.
But we cruised and pulled up the sails and looked at them all.
And I thought it would be really helpful for anyone who like follows us or is looking to learn about this process if we like kind of documented how it went along the way. So like we just came from the survey, we're kind of brain dumping on you, and then actually made a list of questions that I made a list of questions that I had before today of like what would help us like get to where we are today, like the kinds of things that we had to learn and whatever. And I thought I'd give you a pop quiz test.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of this is super basic, and you guys might already know this, but I knew none of this when we started. So if someone was interested in sailing, where would they go to look? Sorry, let's say they've already taken classes and they know how to sail. They're interested in buying boats. Yeah. Where would they go to look at boats?
Yacht World.
What is Yacht World?
It's a website. It's like a Craigslist for boats or an auto trader for boats.
It's awesome. You can set parameters.
Yachtworld.com. Yeah, so basically if a boat is listed, any kind of boat, power, sail, house, whatever it is, ski, right? It's going to be listed on Yacht World.
It's kind of like the real estate MLS for boats.
Yeah.
They're all on there.
Everybody uses it. It's essentially got a monopoly on the boat market because nobody needs to go anywhere else because everybody else uses it.
Yeah.
So why would you?
And what Scott and I really liked about it is you can set so many different parameters. You could search all over the whole world if you were just trying to get a better understanding of like the boats in the world and what they're like. Okay, so that's how the website works.
Yeah.
That's how you find boats. Okay, so if you're interested in a boat that you see on Yacht World, how do you go see it?
You call or email message in some fashion the broker or the private seller. Most of the boats are on Yacht World are listed by brokers. Some are dealers in that they're new boats. That's a little bit challenging with new boats. It's really hard to weed out the new boats because they don't have a price listed.
It's not. They have. Oh, I was gonna say they have more zeros.
No, new boats, they don't list the price. They say call for price.
Okay.
And so they almost will always show up in your search. But
and by the way, if you see me like staring off into the distance,
there's all sorts of wildlife.
Like, we are sitting at one of the most like beautiful viewed restaurants. Let me show you real quick. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. And there's birds diving. Ooh, and that's like a seal. I don't know that you can see that, but it's like swimming up to us.
Yep.
Wow.
Go ahead in the water.
Wow.
It's about to pop up on the rocks here, I bet.
I hope so. That'd be great. Actually, okay, we'll keep the camera on it while we talk. So, oh, he totally is turning this way. I hope he comes over here.
Now you can turn back around if you want. So. That's kind of still a long ways for him to go.
All right.
It does look like he's coming.
I know. I'm excited. I hope he comes over here. All right, hopefully we're still in the view here. So, I'll try not to get distracted. So, okay, so if you find a boat you're interested in, you can contact the listing broker and set up a time to go see the boat. One of the things that Scott and I did that was really helpful was see a variety of boat types. We didn't know, I didn't know all the different types of boats available. And once we started finding boats that we thought we liked, and we didn't even really know specifically why in the beginning, we're like, oh, seems like it's got good features. We'd go see the boat and then we'd learn something about it, or we'd learn something that we realized was or wasn't important to us. So after we saw a bunch of boats, we realized, that's kind of cool. If you get a center cockpit, you get a bigger aft cabin. That's really important if you're going to be living aboard and you want to be comfortable and you're moving from a 3-bedroom house to a boat.
1,300 square foot house to 300 square foot
like
boat.
Tiny living.
Yeah, it's
tiny
exactly
house.
like that.
Yeah. So anyhow, we learned a lot seeing different boats. And then once we saw boats, we were able to narrow our search parameters more and more, which then made it a little bit harder to find.
You were asking me questions.
Oh, I was. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what else do I want to go over? Okay, so once you see a bunch of boats and you find a boat you're interested in, what do?
You do more research. You go visit the boat, you see if you like it. You pay attention to everything that you see on the boat. What do you think needs to be replaced? What do you think is in good working order? What's new? What's exciting? What looks bad about the boat? And you kind of either physically document or mentally log. I mentally logged most of the things. And
we did a lot of video recording too, even just for ourselves to remember.
I kind of did an assessment. Okay, if we owned this boat, what needs to be fixed? What needs to be replaced? What do I see as a novice boat person? And do some research on those big costs. And then you determine, okay, with those big costs, if the seller's not willing to negotiate on the price, is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
You come up with a value that you feel comfortable with offering and say, hey, I want to offer full asking, or 20% less, or 30% less. One of the boats.
And it's really hard to determine how much.
One of the boats we offered at virtually 50% less. I mean, it was initially listed at 60. A couple months later, it was dropped to 50. We made an offer for 30, and they counted at 40, and we walked away because the work that it needed to be done, it was a great boat, but the work that needed to be done to bring it to cruising, long distance cruising and liveaboard capability.
It cost us too much. The boat wasn't worth it.
It wasn't for what we were seeing other boats in that value. And so we walked away.
Yep.
But you have to know what you're willing to spend.
Yes.
And if that boat is worth that value.
And then when we saw the boat that we went and hauled out and surveyed today, we saw that boat. It was at the top of our price range. We walked onto it.
Always is.
Yeah, always is. We walked onto it and were blown away. We were looking at this boat realizing this is so much more boat than we ever thought we'd be able to afford with our budget, which kept telling us, as we thought about that it's underpriced. It's underpriced or there's something terribly wrong with it.
I thought it was underpriced because there's something terribly wrong with it. I've been waiting this whole time. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop because it's priced. It's listed at $49. We offered full price, so we're buying for $49. The offer was accepted.
Worth it.
Go figure. The lending company values it at $63, and our surveyor said, $68 to $75. I guess all that really matters is what the insurance company said, because
they said the same thing.
The lending company, because the lending company said 63.
No, insurance matters a lot too.
Well, the insurance company didn't say. I misspoke if I said insurance, because the insurance company did not say what it's valued at.
Oh.
They don't care what it's valued at. They just care what you pay for it to be insured at, which factors in value. But it can be valued at whatever you say as long as you're willing to pay that difference. The lender said, "Hey, we value it at 63." And so, great, just right there. It's a $14,000 bonus for Britt and I on buying our boat.
And it's not that we get that money, but we see that money in the boat that we are about to own.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily going to get it back unless we sell the boat, and we don't have any plans to do that anytime soon. But we're getting so much more boat. Now I think we're just bragging, sorry. We're super excited. We're
My
really
boat's
excited.
better than your boat.
Not nice. We're just really... Now I have to figure out how to blur that.
No, you don't.
Anyhow, we're really excited. Let me see what
You'll just cut it anyways.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what an offer really is and how that offer process goes. Like, there was a point where we were like, we put an offer in, right? And was it accepted? And talk about that process, because that was weird. That was unusual.
I think that was just. I think it was unusual because we offered full value, and we're accustomed to negotiating price, similar like what you might do on a house. Offer some value less than what they're asking, and then you negotiate and find a middle ground. None of that took place because we said, yes, we'll pay your asking price. But because of that, there wasn't the, okay, I'll take your offer to the owner and then have the owner agree. It was, they already agreed.
Mm-hmm. So we told them we'd like to put an offer, and they said how much. We said for the asking price. They said great.
Right, and then that was
Scott
it.
and I had like many short conversations of, was it accepted? They accepted it, right? Like
I wasn't entirely sure because there was not the, okay, we'll send it to the seller and see if he accepts.
Right.
Seller just accepted automatically.
I actually thought we were waiting for that at one point. Like, we're waiting for the seller to get back to us.
So when we went to sign the next step, once your offer is accepted, you sign a purchase agreement. Basically says, I agree to the purchase of the boat for X value within X time.
Sounds like the typical timeline is 2 weeks.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we heard, and within that 2 weeks, it's your responsibility to negotiate or have your survey, sea trial, all the stuff you want to do to the boat to make sure you're comfortable buying the boat needs to happen within those 2 weeks.
As well as insurance?
Or whatever date you set. It's a bit flexible, but pretty standard was 2 weeks.
As well as insurance and financing, anything that's needed to bundle up this purchase package, a nice pretty bow, deliver. Mm-hmm. Typical, I think it's 2 weeks.
And so once you sign that purchase agreement, it's your responsibility to set up the survey sea trial should you need one or want one. Probably do it. It's a fair chunk of change.
Do it.
All total,
We've seen a
all
lot
out
of-
survey sea trial cost us $1,400.
We've seen a lot of YouTube videos about whether or not to get a survey.
Depends on what you're doing. So like,
We've seen people get a survey, find out the boat has way more damage, wood rot.
depends on what you're doing. So if you know you intend to fully fix up the boat, like Maz from Sail Life, I don't know that he went to have a survey because
He was probably willing to take on whatever.
his goal was to fix up a boat. So survey there, maybe, so you know what to look for.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Everything's
it's
really
delicious.
good. Yeah. Did you not order anything else? Thank you.
I'm gonna eat your crostini.
Good idea. Thanks.
Oh, cut it anyway.
Explain a little bit about the process of lending insurance paperwork that we're kind of going through right now.
So
Like, what's the process for that? We
we
walked out
financed
of
the
the survey today and we were like, we want it.
we financed the boat.
He's like, great, send us the money.
If you're paying cash, you just write a check, money order, hand them a fat envelope, stuff with cash. Who knows, right? We financed the boat. What I learned I learned a lot when financing the boat, when trying to find financing. We have phenomenal credit. What we learned was the age of the boat makes all the difference in who will fund what.
So weird, so interesting.
Our boat, the boat we're buying, is a Morgan 462 catch. It's 1981. I found 2 lenders of, I must have called 15 to 20, 30 places. I'm sure there are others, but I called a lot.
Amazingly challenging. Surprising.
And they said most people wouldn't go past 1997 in the year of the boat. And I found one that would go back to 87. The 2 I found were Essex Credit, which is a division of Bank of the West, and USAA Finance. But most companies just can't do it. Doesn't matter how much down you have, they won't fund your loan if it's older than 20 years. Should be 97. Ours is 36, so USAA didn't give a shit about the age of the boat. Part of that is you have to have either a family member or military service. I don't have military service. My grandpa did, and so I get the sweet added benefit of USAA insurance and loan options. So it's pretty cool. And so we went through USAA. They funded 100% of the loan.
It's easy. Too easy.
Oh yeah, they didn't.
Everything's been too easy.
They didn't need any documentation on it. With USAA, they're willing to fund 100% up to 100% of the loan, but it has to appraise on their website. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically the Kelly Blue Book for boats, where they look up the boat, year,
they get a value.
make, model, and some amenities.
They saw our boat.
They get a value.
Priced on that website for about $15,000 more than we're buying it for.
Right.
So they're happy.
Yeah.
We're happy.
And if, let's say, they only valued it at 45, we'd get a loan for 45. Or, but if the seller was still selling it at 50, we'd have to make up that $5,000 difference.
I think it was same day approval.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got approved within minutes.
Crazy. And then the next time we talked to them was basically today, when we said we want to move forward with the loan, and they said, great. Blah, 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 blah. Sign here electronically. Scott did it from his phone while we were sitting in the truck in the parking lot at the yacht broker place at the marina. And then in 10 minutes, the woman we were on the phone with says, okay, great. The check will go out tomorrow overnight. Great. Despite our noviceness, everyone is letting us buy this boat.
You're fools.
It's pretty incredible.
But the whole thing has been far easier than I expected. I'm waiting for the train to crash. I'm waiting for the derailment.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
I kept waiting to pull the boat out of the water and just find that it doesn't have like a prop and the keel is like chipped in half.
I thought
I was waiting for like the engine to
from
not
the
work
way
today.
the listing and the seller or the broker had described this boat, needed lots of love and care.
TLC is the phrase that we kept hearing.
Yep.
This boat needs TLC.
And
I don't know what TLC they're talking about.
I was under the impression the boat hadn't been really moved from the dock in 5 years. Found out that wasn't the case. I assumed there'd be just this massive beard growth on the hull, where you just have feet and feet of
Feet.
yeah, of growth, because nobody had touched it or brushed it or any of that. Yeah,
Wow.
I expected huge growth.
I did too.
Nope. Apparently, they've had divers scrubbing the hull periodically, regularly,
And
and
it was painted just a couple years ago.
right.
3 years ago.
The last record they showed was 2012, except when we got to
It's
the
now
haul out yard.
2017.
Yeah. So when we got to the haul out yard, we asked if maybe they had record of painted there, because one of the things I was told is about that size, there are a few places to haul out.
So it's likely they were the ones who surfaced it last.
Yeah, turns out they did. End of 2014, about halfway through. Anyways, so relatively
Unbelievable.
fresh coat of paint. We're considering having the
That's great.
bottom repainted right then, and throwing
Scott was considering it.
throw another $3,000 in it to have them sand and repaint the thing, because it needed paint, so they said. So we hauled it and spray painted and spray washed it, pressure washed it. It's totally fine.
People were prepping us all morning for the fact that it's going to need paint.
All morning.
I think that it's just that the brokerage chose the haul out yard and they have a deal that they work out to get so many boats painted or whatever so often.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
I think they were advising that it makes a lot of sense to do it now, because we're already paying for the haul out. So if we do it next year, we're going to pay haul out and painting costs. We're
And for
already
your
paying the
reference-
haul out costs.
So for your reference for haul out, I brought the paperwork. It cost us $783.40 today, and that included the haul out, the power wash, and the new zinc. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So we didn't know anything about zinc, but apparently you can add zinc blocks basically to the column on your prop
I knew it was
shaft.
a thing.
I guess it's your prop shaft.
I didn't really understand how it worked. I just knew it was a thing and needed to be replaced.
Would you like to describe how it works?
So basically, it's a sacrificial metal.
Okay, kids, how's everything?
Good.
Delicious.
Good. Yeah. Do you...
At the moment, no.
Okay. Thank you.
What happens is has to do with the
I got it.
electron. Okay, go for it.
When you power a boat,
I'm eating this.
great. When you power a boat, there's electricity and current. Wow. Oh my god. Excuse me. That went everywhere, didn't it? So when you power a boat, I actually cannot explain this in depth,
Oh, I thought you had
but
it.
basically, power's running into your boat, it goes into the batteries. The batteries get full. The last like 3% or 3 watts or whatever, some little bit of energy can't really go into the battery, it's full, but you're still sending energy out from the shore power, the electricity at the marina dock. It's still leaving that dock and going into your boat, and your boat is actually sending it kind of like through any ground lines, ground metal, electrical grounds in your boat, and it sends it basically out the bottom of your boat. It just follows the line of electricity and metal. Again, I don't know the details of this. I'm sure plenty of you know more and can comment on this video and tell us more about it. but that electricity leaves the boat. That electricity is now kind of like in the water and traveling to the nearest metal it can find. And from what I understand, it latches on and eats that metal. It's like the metals try to like combine.
It eats the zinc instead of the copper or the stainless on the drive shaft of the
What
prop.
Scott's trying to say is you add zinc to the boat so that the metals in the water go when they find that zinc instead of latching onto the prop. So anyways, sacrificial metal, like Scott said.
Yeah.
And ours had completely went away, which is great. That's what it's for. So it left our prop alone. We didn't have to get a new prop. And we just
totally fine.
paid $50 and 15 minutes of labor for them to put on new zinc. So it was the haul out, the power wash, the zinc, and then they launched it again in the water. 786 or something. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. I think that covers our day. Anything else we should talk about?
Probably. You have a whole list of things, don't you?
That's it. We covered it up till lunch.
Oh, now we're having lunch to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
Our boat purchase, we had...
Oh yeah, tell them what the next step is. What are we working out now with like insurance and stuff?
So the next thing we need is insurance. I don't actually know that that's true. According to what I learned from USAA, they're shipping the check tomorrow.
Well, it
I'll
doesn't
just hand
sound
it to the
like-
broker.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the lender needs any insurance.
USAA would lend, but they could only, because of the age of the boat, again, back to the age thing, they could only insure for liability, but not any other damages. So, like, if I hit a boat, they'll pay for that. They won't pay for anything else that happens to the boat. But they pay to
for
fix.
what? They pay to fix the other boat, but
Yeah.
not your boat.
Yeah, basically.
Got it. So, anyways, we want to make sure that we get the best insurance because we're new at this, or I do. I want to make sure we get good insurance. We're new
I
at
want
this.
fine insurance.
Yeah. I
I don't
definitely
need to
don't
cover
want
everything, but I don't want also to
terrible
have to
insurance.
hassle them to pay.
Yeah. So we'll do a little bit more research. The insurance will be based on the survey results. So our surveyor today is going to write up his report of what happened, and we're going to call him here in a little bit and see when that report will be ready, because we'll need to send that report. We'll need to send that report to the insurance company and the lender, right? No, just the
The lender
insurance
didn't say
company.
they wanted it.
You're right. But the insurance company should have the survey results.
Our broker
I
says
want my insurance company to want my survey results.
the broker says the lender should want the documentation. That's one of the things that they don't often ask for up front, but then they say, "Oh, we didn't get it later." I asked the lender; they didn't say they wanted it, but they should want it. They should want proof of insurance to know that their collateral is safe.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. We're gonna talk to the surveyor, get that paperwork, get it to the necessary parties, get the insurance, to the lender finalized with the broker.
Should get the keys by Saturday, ideally.
Should get the keys.
As soon as we
Next
hand
couple
over that
days.
check, I am.
Yeah, I'm worried it might take the surveyor 48 hours to write the report. So let's say he writes it Wednesday, Thursday, and it's ready Friday morning.
Okay.
Then we send the paperwork to the insurance company Friday, but they don't look at it until like Monday, Tuesday.
You can get insurance the same day.
Maybe we'll have keys by Saturday. I hope we
Here's the
do.
deal. I'm giving them a $49,000 check on Saturday, presuming it actually arrives on my doorstep. So we're getting keys.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a check and not getting keys.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good point.
right.
I think that's it for now.
Yeah, we're about at 40 minutes now, so.
No one wants to watch this whole thing. I'll see what I can do to edit it down. Alright. Sign off?
Yeah.
How do we say bye?
Bye. It's a
Bye.
word. Three letters. BYE.
Thank you all so much for joining us this time, and if you're enjoying our videos, feel free to subscribe on YouTube, or you can head on over to our Patreon page and become our Patreon. In fact, you'll be our first Patreon because we just signed up. Head on over and check it out. Thanks, bye!